Well, hello and welcome to the official closing ceremony for H1-2010 Open. I have with me some awesome guests, some hackers, some hackeronis who are going to help us kind of talk about the event, how it went. Some of the hackers on here have been making a lot of noise and submitting some really, really cool bugs. So before we get started, let's do a quick round of intro, who you are, what your hacker handle is. Give us a quick 411, starting with you, Douglas.
On HackerOne, I am the Archangel. I'm only the Archangel because Archangel was taken, so I had to append a the. Um, but I've been in the security industry for about 7 years and been bug hunting 2 years, actually, 2 years this month.
Awesome. That's good progress for a few years you've been around, man. Congrats. What about you, Michael?
Okay, so my name is Michael. My handle is Michael1026. I'm a software engineer and I've been doing bug bounties on and off since about 2013.
Very cool. Hussein, what about you?
Hey, I'm Hussein98G on HackerOne and Dog. I've been hacking since 12 years old, and I'm only hacking on HackerOne and Dog for now. And part-time, I do some businesses locally.
Very cool. How did you guys like the event so far? So for the open, what is it different? I know, Douglas, you have been to a few events. Hussein, Michael, I don't think you guys have been to any of the other events that we have hosted. It's your first time, right?
Hussein, I think you participated in 702-2019 remotely, right?
Sorry?
Did you participate? I know you didn't fly out to Vegas last year, but you did participate remotely a little bit, right?
H1-72.
Yes.
Yeah,
Vegas.
702 Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah.
So let's start off with you, Michael. Then this is your first event. You know, you're doing it virtually. How does it feel to participate? Was it everything you expected? Was it better? Was it
It's,
worse?
it's, it's pretty great. I had a lot of fun doing it. Uh, Actually, hacking virtually wasn't in an event wasn't too much different than just hacking on a program, but it's definitely a little bit more stressful because you're always checking the leaderboard to see how you're doing, always checking emails to check for payments and triages. So yeah,
Did you hack alone?
yes, I did. Other than reaching out to a couple of people when I found something, if I felt like I couldn't get it to where I wanted.
Cool. What about you, Hussein? Doug, what do you guys? Did you guys work together? Did you have a team?
Yeah, we had a team.
Okay.
We have created a new team called Hussein and the Old Dads, because obviously there are 4 dads and I'm the only one that isn't a dad yet. Pretty good. We've been like, it's our first collaboration, everyone, all of us, and it's a good. I judge it as a good success for our first collaboration. We have found cool bugs and ongoing.
So I want to hear about how you guys communicated because from what I know, you're in a complete different time zone than the other rest of the team. How did you guys communicate? What did you guys do to make sure you guys are all working together? Was it around the clock? You know, what did you guys use? Was it Slack, Discord?
So this was fun. We had a Zoom call room.
Okay.
Everyone who is going to hack, he just joins the Zoom meeting, and you just know that he's her. And we had also a Slack channel where we used to share stuff we find and communicate about ideas and stuff. So it was the time zone is very different, so it made like a power, because when someone's sleeping, someone's hacking. So it was like 24 hours of hacking.
Wow. Did you guys like? Just did you guys? How did you guys do the actual bounty? Is it a split? Is it whoever finds it, or was it purely a team thing, or was it just collaboration?
It
Yeah.
was a split.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Douglas?
Yeah, we like most events, we try to do a completely even split because some events you'll roll high, some events you'll roll low, and it's just not a very good feeling to feel like you're not contributing to the team. And so in order to sort of make everyone feel like they're doing well, we just did a complete even split. And so I think by having 5 people on our team instead of just like 1 or 2 or 3, it really sort of evened evened the curve, and it was we did well enough collectively to pass all 5 of us on to the next round.
When you guys pick who to collaborate with, do you look for like complementary skill sets? Do you pick and choose based on what the target is, time and place?
I think we mostly go by history. I think like Jesse and I have a history of working together. Jesse being Hogarth 45. I know that Rezo and Today Is New have worked together in the past, and Rezo has also worked with Hussein in the past. And so I was chatting with Rezo and told him I was working with Jesse, and then sort of the two of us sort of brought both of our groups of 2 to 3 hackers and formed a team of 5. And it was just coincidental that our skill sets sort of were complementary. Like Hussein and Today Is New and Rezo are very good recon artists. They're very good at finding vulnerable web servers, sensitive information, just left open on the internet. And Jesse and I are more depth first, where we like to dig deep into an application. And so we sort of had both sides of the hacking spectrum on the same team, which has been pretty successful.
Michael, what about you? You said you reached out to a couple on just specific bugs. How's that reach out always go? Some hackers might feel a little bit more awkward to do that.
There's a few people that I talk to, or sometimes someone will reach out to me. Sometimes they'll just post in like a Slack channel asking for help, and someone will reach out to me. So person who I typically went to for this event was CDL, who had messaged me earlier in the day already. So I was already talking to him, so I just sent him what I had. And yeah, he's a very approachable person.
Yeah, that's awesome. Corbin's great.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, for you guys, like Douglas and Hussein, you guys had, each other to keep motivated, and, someone finds a bug, you all get hyped up. I'm going to find the next one, right? I want to hear from Michael. How did you stay motivated working alone? What kept you going every day? Was it just you had a goal? Was it just, this is my first event, I want to crush it? How did that work?
I definitely wasn't motivated the entire time. I think after the first few days, I hadn't found much. And at that point, it's kind of just like looking for scraps, and kind of ended up just getting lucky. So that was the point where I kind of felt really motivated, was once I finally found something good. Then that's when the motivation came.
And have you ever hacked on Yahoo before? Or was this your first time kind of looking at them?
And Yahoo was one of the first programs I ever hacked on. That was back when it was very easy to find bugs back then. So then I took a break from it and tried again in like 2019, 2020, and couldn't find anything. Spent months and months doing recon and just couldn't really find anything, but it at least allowed me to understand the ecosystem a lot better. So that definitely helped me out in this event.
Very cool. And then Douglas, I know you've hacked on yahoo.com plenty of times. How does it feel going back and looking at the scope again, and how did you guys manage to find vulns, given that, this is a scope that you guys have worked on probably for years now, and going back for it again for a second time? How did that work?
Yeah, it's a hard scope. I think there's a common misconception that a very, very large and wide scope is going to be an easy scope. But I mean, Yahoo has been through the gauntlet like 10 plus times now in live events. I'm sure you guys have the official number of events that they've been in, but every time it gets harder, it gets more robust. And so it was hard. I'd say this is probably the most difficult live event I've been in. And so, like, for the people that tried and didn't find anything, there are a lot of top tier hackers that also didn't find anything. And so don't feel bad for not finding anything on Yahoo, because it is very difficult. It's just a matter of persistence, and we banged our head against the wall enough that a hole eventually formed. And so, I mean, now we've got a bit of a bloody scalp, but we were able to find some bugs from it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. pulling up the leaderboard and seeing $300,000 being paid is still kind of fascinating, given how many times Yahoo.com, just not even outside of live hacking events, Yahoo.com has been the core scope for Verizon Media's bug bounty for program since they've launched. So it's always been Yahoo.com, and seeing $300,000 being paid in a few weeks or few days, it's still incredibly amazing. So congrats to all of you guys for contributing.
I think it goes a lot to show that that the community of bug hunters is growing in skill collectively, given that we're still able to continuously find a couple $100,000 worth of bugs, even after many years of Yahoo being online.
Just out of curiosity, how many hours would you estimate that you all spent during the open round?
Oof, that's gotta be a tough one.
I guess I'll start. I probably spent between 40 and 50. It took place over 5 days, and I think, I probably spent close to 40 hours over the course of 5 days. It turned into a full-time gig. I took time off my day job in order to hack on Yahoo. So it was a full-time thing.
Same here. I took off time to do this, and it was about 40 hours. I'd say probably 30 to 40.
Hussein, how about you? Did you spend the same amount of time?
I spent about 16 hours every day with the starting of the event.
Wow, that's a lot of hours.
That's pretty much.
So I'm assuming after this is all over, there's another beach somewhere you're gonna travel to, maybe? It's close by?
For sure. Once everything is dead, I'm going back.
So I'm curious to hear, every time we do these events in person, there is this, all these memories you make, some highlight that you remember. Was there anything specifically that stood out to you guys this event? Like anything fun happened between, any friendships, any connections, any good stories you can share with us? Any fun moments in your team that you want to share with us, maybe?
Can I go?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so first, I didn't know Eric today is new on HackerOne and Bugpro, but I didn't have to hack with him sometime, and also with the guys with Douglas and GC. I hacked with Rizzo a bit, but now it's more like a connection. We know everyone's strengths, so even now we have a group. If you have to collaborate on some bugs or some other programs, we just have to post it there and hack together. So it created more like a friendship between us, more than a hacking team. And I'm happy. So this connection have happened with amazing people, good hackers, and more of this. It's more good hearts with good minds. So it's all settled, and it did a very good connection between us.
What about you, Michael? Anything that, any connections you made or any good, stories you can tell us about the event?
No particular stories, but I definitely did talk to a lot more people than I normally do throughout bug hunting.
Okay.
Talked to a lot of people in the Discord, talked to some people on Twitter and whatnot. So it was nice talking to new people I've never talked to, or people who I've maybe only talked to a little bit in the past, but talked to a lot more now. So good to make those connections.
Douglas, do you have anything you want to add? Any stories? Anyone fall asleep on any Zoom calls or?
Nothing like that. I think the probably my favorite bit of our collaboration was just sort of this faux rivalry that we kind of developed with Mine Eyes. I mean, he is an extremely good hacker, and I mean, we are just following his coattails. But it's kind of fun to talk trash on Twitter and on the Discord by getting some celebrity cameo to talk down about him. And now he responded with a pretty spicy meme. And so I think going forward, we've kind of got this back and forth friendly wrestling match going on. It's been something new that I haven't experienced in other live events.
I want to know, what is this meme you're speaking of? I gotta look this up. While I look this up, I want to, I think you guys mentioned Discord a few times. how was it having Discord as a communication channel? Was it helpful? Did you guys use it to communicate with our triage team or the Verizon Media team? How did that work? Let's start with you, Michael, since you were working solo.
It was nice to have some more communication outside of like Twitter. It was nice to be able to see like what's going on behind the scenes and hear from the Verizon Media team what's currently going on and whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely nice to have that.
What about you guys? Besides, the memes and the fun times you had on Discord, how was it with communicating with our team or Verizon Media's team?
I think both the Verizon Media team and the HackerOne team was extremely responsive on Discord. I mean, as much as they can be when they're triaging hundreds of reports. But I think I've never had a bad experience working with the Verizon Media team. I can ping them at the height of the business day, and they'll get back to me about whether it's something off topic or on topic. And they're very fair. And if you want a second a second set of eyes on something, then they're more than happy to do it, even if they're super busy. And then I've always enjoyed talking with the HackerOne team, whether it's you or Jess or Prash. Just it's been great.
Well, and that's part of the reason we do the live events, right? It connects everyone to each other. So I think on the scope call twice, actually, if you watched it live, I said that I really wanted everyone to come out of the open round having learned something, having met someone new, and having had fun. And it sounds like across the board that happened, which I love to hear. But a big reason we do live events is to connect each other. So you guys get to connect directly with the security teams. You get to connect directly with HackerOne staff. It's definitely been, a lessons learned to try and figure out a way to implement that in a virtual setting. For traditional live events, we have Slack anyway, because for those of you that don't know, the scope will open up a couple weeks in advance of when we actually fly in person. So we use Slack to connect with that, but in mass, that's obviously not possible. So we use Discord. So it was definitely a trial run for us, but it ran very similarly to how we use Slack. It was just a lot more content. So it was really cool to see, and that memes channel blew up, which was always really fun.
So before we wrap this up and I let you go, I want to ask a golden question. Who's got dupes? Did you guys get any dupes?
I got a dupe.
Yeah, we duped on ourselves. I think my favorite moment was Today Is New had submitted something that ended up duping on his own report from like I don't remember how long ago. It might have only been a couple weeks ago, but when you're submitting so many bugs and you're working that fast, it's very easy to forget a bug you found just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. What about you, Michael? Did you have any dupes? I assume a few here and there.
I only had one dupe, and it was for a report that I didn't really care too much about, so I was fine with that.
Cool. So it didn't hurt as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, awesome. We're going to go on a quick transition before I do this. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We're going to wrap this up, and we have to get to the awards and announce who are the winners for the opening round. Anything you guys want to add before we close this off? We're
still finalizing, just for everyone that participated, the actual final top 50 leaderboard. So we'll be announcing that soon. But Ben's going to be announcing the HackerOne awards momentarily. So keep tabs on Twitter. We'll be announcing publicly as soon as it's ready.
Thanks, everyone. We'll be back in a few seconds, and we'll announce our winners. All right, should we get right into it? Chat, if you're still here, you're still watching us, drop some comments in the chat. We're going to jump right into announcing the winners for the h1-2010 opening round. And I know everyone's excited to know who are the winners. I think some of them are obvious. Some may not be as obvious than others. So, are you guys ready? Everyone ready? So, if you're not familiar with the awards, every time we do any events, there's a number of awards that we give out. For the virtual events, we've decided we're going to do the first and second place award winners. This is directly based on top bounties earned. So whoever were the top 2 earners are going to be our first and second place. And then there's also the Exterminator, which is the award for the most critical and impactful bug. And a lot of times when we do these awards, it's around consistency, community, and communication. We want to make sure who were involved in the events, and we look into every aspect of the event before we choose our winners. And also there's a vigilante that it's a very, very close tie, so everybody is in the background figuring it out, which will be announced on Twitter later today or sometimes this weekend. So if you want to find out who the vigilante is, make sure you go ahead and follow HackerOne on Twitter. So if we're ready, drum rolls for the first place, as expected, goes to Mayonnaise or Mayonnaise, whichever you want to call him. I think that was a pretty obvious one, given that he is number 1 on the leaderboard with 1,000-something points already. Crazy amount of good bugs, but congrats him again for winning the first place for h1-2010 opening round. Everybody in chat, if you can, give him a round of applause and let's congratulate him on becoming the first place winner. For our second place, we have Tabahi. I think that's also another one that was pretty obvious, given that he's been really high up there on the leaderboard. Again, all this leaderboard stuff is on HackerOne.com. HackerOne.live, sorry. You can go ahead and check it out. But again, Tabahi, congrats. Second place with most bounties earned. Let's give it up for Tabahi really quick before we announce the best and most critical bug of this round with Verizon Media. Before I do that, I'm going to ask chat, who do you think had the most critical vuln of the event? I want to hear from everybody in the chat. Drop a username. Who do you think is going to be our winner for our last award of the day, the Exterminator? Okay, I see some names. Hussein's coming in. What else? RCE Dream. Hussein or Michael. All right. Everyone ready? Eric? Cool. All right, let's see who it is. And the award for the most impactful and critical vuln for the Exterminator h1-2010 opening round goes to, I guess no surprise, to Mayo. Congrats again, John. I hope you're watching this, and if you're not, I will definitely make sure you hear from us for being the Exterminator for h1-2010 opening round. We are still working on announcing the top 50 hackers for the next round. If you're interested in learning if you made it to the next round, make sure you check us out on Twitter. Again, you can go to twitter.com/hackerox01 or just look up HackerOne on Twitter, and you'll be able to see all the other announcements that we're going to do for the next round. That's it for today. We'll be back again with another round of hacking on October 8th. All the announcements will go out, all the swag and the awards will be shipped together. Just hang on there, hang on tight. We'll send them out soon. And if there's any questions, make sure to email us or get in touch with us on Twitter. That's it for today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for participating. And we will talk to you all in a few short days. See you all.